When it seems like everybody else right now is all about bigger and greater size homesteads, we're going to be doing something very different. And that is downsizing our homestead. Downsizing our homestead is what's going to save us this year, and I'm going to tell you why.
Bruh, we're fighting. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Get out of here. My name is Jonathan. Ami, do you mind? My name is Jonathan Boyd. I'm an executive chef for over 20 years. I got into homesteading so I could have food year-round for my family, as well as have the best ingredients possible. I'm super glad you are here. Let's talk about downsizing our homestead, what that means for us and our future plans. Downsizing in this economical and political atmosphere might seem like counterintuitive. I know a lot of people are more into the prepping aspect of homesteading and getting ready for the political winter, if you will. I'm not going to get into that, but there's 3 reasons that we are going to be downsizing our homestead, and I believe ultimately it is going to make our homestead even greater by the end of 2025. The first reason why we're going to be downsizing itself is for our animal health. There's some animals that are doing really, really good, and we have some that are just not doing as hot. And what we need to do is downsize and focus on producing really high quality. Remember, I'm an executive chef. That's what I'm all about. It's really high quality ingredients. And you'll see some behind me. We've got some nice, beautiful lambs that are behind us, but we could be doing better with less. Yes, we got some pretty healthy animals behind us. We got Mr. Toodles over there. He's a bull. He's about to be heading over to butcher. You see all of our amazing lamb, our cattle and lamb that are working their way up to the barns for afternoon feeding. But we are having some issues, and a lot of that comes with too many animals being on the property. First part, I think, is the genetic lines are not as pure in my animals. So one of the big things I'm working on is creating a more pure genetic line. And what I have to do that is to bring in better genetics instead of relying on the same genetic pool. Basically, unfortunately, maybe, a little bit of inbreeding. And so what that's done is that's lowered the amount of the size of my lambs. That's also lowered their biome, if you will, to be able to deflect parasites and things like that. It's just overall not been, as we've gone on our last 2 years, we're really starting to see the effects of having basically bad genetics. And again, that's on us as the farmers. So what that means ultimately is we're going to be culling all but about 4 of these lambs, either going to be culled or we're going to sell. If we see how the market goes and the price is right, we might sell off. Several of them are pregnant, so we'll sell them off as, baby lambs and ewe pairs, and we'll get $300 to $500 for each one, and that's great. Now, what they'll do is kind of help perpetuate. I've looked at also changing some breeds. It's going to give me an opportunity to change in and bring in some breeds that maybe can do better here in Mississippi. It's mid-October, and it's like 92 degrees outside today. I'm sweating it up. It's still warm here, so I need sheep that can be able to handle that and still put on weight. Ultimately, the last part as far as the animal care is we want to start upgrading our program. We've done a really good job growing cattle and lamb. We've got mini Nubians and Nigerian dwarfs for our goats here. And they do a great job, but we're wanting to upgrade the genetics, and we're looking at specifically focusing in on meat production. Catlins are a good dual-purpose lambs. Nigerian dwarfs, they do, they're very good, diverse here, very good on parasites. Same thing with many Nubians. But I wanted to get in more specifically into meat breeding. I'm really wanting to get in to just meat production and being able to have a sustainable meat source. I don't want to have to be the guy who has to sit over here out in the deer stand and hunt deer all winter. I want to be able to go in my yard and I got delicious red meat right here and I don't have to worry about it. So we're going to be looking into some of those genetics to see what we can source right here on the farm and upgrading. And again, I'm looking for lambs that are going to have like great marbling. They're going to have obviously great size, a speed to butcher weight ratio that I'm going to be looking for. So, we're looking at St. Croix and Dorpers. And seeing if that would be a great match here on our homestead. The next key part of our downsizing is the land pressure that we're putting on. Last year, we had an 18-week drought, meaning we got absolutely not a single drop on this homestead for 18 straight weeks in the depths of summer. So we were in upwards temperatures of over 100 degrees for 8 of those weeks and still no rain. So it meant that the top layer of all of our grass was completely burned out by the sun. That also meant, unfortunately, when it came time for rain, that we had too much wash. My neighbor experienced a lot of my yard, basically in my pasture, being washed down into his creek. And that creek, unfortunately, leads over to his pond. We need to do more to make sure that we have great pasture health. Pasture health is the success to all of this. All of this runs on pasture health. We need to make sure that we've got a strong biodiverse pasture for them to eat on. That biodiverse pasture does multiple things. One, it makes sure that we have multiple composures of grasses and beans and corn and different things that I just come out here and I seed. That means that we've got a great mix of things that holds on to the dirt itself. The more grasses and things that we have here, the less likely that soil is going to erode and go down to my friend's pond. The second part of that biodiversity is obviously we're providing an amazing pasture and food source for our animals, such as Mr. Toodles here. Mr. Toodles has been on our farm now for 3 years, and this will be our first time taking a bull to butcher. We're really excited about that and being able to supply in a whole bunch of ground beef. Close your ears, and we're really excited about that. But without having biodiversity in our soil, we're not able to provide the nutrients and things that we need for this guy to grow healthy. The last part about our downsizing is the actual season of life that we're in. And it does play a huge part. I think what happens for too many homesteaders is that we get into this thing where we feel like we've got to do more and more. We want to do rabbits, we want to do quail, we want to do ducks, meat birds, egg layers, cows, pigs, and I'll be the first one to admit that I jump into way too many projects. Unfortunately, what that does is that burns us out, and then we're not reflecting on where we're at in our season of life. In some seasons, we're able to really upscale and do a lot, and then unfortunately, in some seasons, we're just burned out. And I love homesteading. It is a huge passion of mine. It's what I get excited about. I love coming out here, being on the land. Unfortunately, though, we're just not reflective in that season. My personal job and what I do, again, I'm a corporate chef. I get to help people all over the state of Mississippi and Louisiana, being able to help them find money. That's my job. I help people find money. But that puts me on the road a lot. And so ultimately, I'm having to make this very tough decision. Do I stay in that corporate role, which I really love? I genuinely love my job. I love the customers that I have, the people that I get to meet, the employees and the people, my coworkers. They're just amazing human beings that I genuinely enjoy working for. But I'm in this constant tug of war between these two worlds. And so to pay my bills, essentially, I'm needing to make sure that this homestead runs more efficiently. And I've learned that when we downsize our things in life, you'd be amazed at the production that you have. And I'm going to give this example as we kind of close out. It's a very, very strong example. We did something this past year that is completely against the norm for what we do on our homestead. In our past, we have done crop rows. Crop rows has been very easy. We get together, we run the tiller through. It's about a 2 or 3 day project. We get it built up and everything works. And then we got to manage it throughout the year. But genuinely, it's kind of dumb, but it does require a lot of daily management. You got to pick weeds. You got to take care of it, right? This year, we decided we were going to downsize the garden. And so we were going to basically take away the entire crop row area and focus all of our efforts on 8 raised garden beds. And I was fully committed and ready and prepared to do 25% of what we were doing in the past. I expected us to not get enough food to get us through the winter. I expected us to be going to the grocery store constantly. What ended up happening was the opposite. We actually ended up having the largest garden as far as production that we've ever had. We ended up we're picking a bushel of beans every other day. I am still in mid-October picking 5 pounds of habaneros every single week. I'm still picking all of these items. When I was in row crops, by this time of the year, everything was dead. The only life I would have was the small section dedicated to the raised garden beds. Instead, we focused all of our efforts on those 8 raised beds. And there we grew green beans, we grew multiple different types of tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, squash, zucchini. But we had the greatest year ever in our garden. And it's because we did not do as much. We did not have 20 100-foot long rows of product that we had to walk up and down and up and down and constantly picked out the little small things. And the greater bit of this farm is the same way. Because we have so many animals, because we've got sheep and dairy goats and cows and pigs, and not just pigs, we got 3 different breeds of pigs. The livestock dogs, the chickens, the ducks, all of that, essentially, it blurs our eyes, and we're not able to really focus in on what's going to make our homestead great. And I know for a fact that when I downsize, I will have the greatest production on this homestead that I will ever have. And I know that because it's been proven time and time again, just like my garden, that when I take away all of the fluff, I do away with my ego, because my ego tells me to do all of these things because I'm a chef and I want to have the best ingredients. When I strip all of that back, I'm going to have the best homestead possible with the most delicious meat possible, the best tomatoes, the sweetest, the perfectly acidic tomatoes. I'm going to have perfectly firm green beans and zucchini and squash. I'm going to have dogs that are well trained that take care of my flocks. I have all of these things that I can achieve, but none of those things I can do with the current status that I have on this homestead. The status quo needs to change. So we're going to be going through that process and what all that means. But on the quick hit list, when we talk about downsizing, let me talk to you exactly what I mean. Right now, we have 25 lambs. We're going to be taking those 25 lambs down to 6 lambs, and we'll be purchasing 1 ram. Both of our cows, the bull in particular, will be 86 heading to the butcher come January. We're pretty confident that Miss Patty over here is pregnant, so we're going to give her about 3 or 4 months after he's gone to kind of check and see what that status is, if she officially has a baby, or maybe we're just not good at picking those things out. All of our pigs will be getting butchered here in the next couple of weeks as far as our large breed pigs. So I've got 2 American guinea hogs. That's Clyde and Rhetus. And then we have 4 Berkshires. All 4 of those Berkshires need to be hitting to the butcher here very soon. I'm very excited that we've got a whole hog cookout with all of our friends and family and people who've been around us to help support us this last year as a big thank you. And all 4 of the Berkshires will be getting butchered. And then it comes to downsizing. Even the little pigs, the little baby coons, I was really excited about them. I want to keep them. I want to hold on to them. They're going to need to go. For us and the homestead to be successful, I need to downsize. Make sure you stick around because we've got 2 amazing videos right here. If you are interested in learning more about our homestead tours and walkthroughs, make sure you click right here. You can actually have it go through with us and tour our entire homestead, check on all the animals and what we have going on. We got some cool projects that we're excited about, and you could be able to see the whole operation, what we're doing and what I'm talking about. If you're interested in the actual kitchen aspect, again, I'm a chef. I've been cooking in restaurants since I was 18 years old, so right at the 20-year mark, make sure that you click right over here, and you'll be able to check out some amazing cooking videos that cooks amazing products right here off of our homestead. So make sure you click around, have fun, and join us for the next video here on Homesteading Chef.